Hi guys, welcome to another Divi Theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, today we got some cascading menus for you. If I roll down this page, you see a little dark menu appear. When it gets to the top of the page, it's going to stick to the bottom of our header there. If I keep rolling down, we got another one appearing. When that gets to the top, it's going to push the other one out of the way. It'll stick there. And there's one more. When it gets to the top, it's going to do the same way. That's a great way of getting things noticed again. And if we go back up the page, doing the opposite. Really nice feature to have on your site. No coding involved in this today. So let's get started. I'm going to enable the Visual Builder. I'm going to go down and delete all of those menus. I'm going to hit my little purple button at the bottom here. I'm going to go to the left hand side and hit wireframe mode or wireframe view. It'll take us to the back end. And before I delete these, I'll explain how they're actually working. We've got sections here, the blue tab. If I roll down, there's my first menu, which is a row. And I've got it sticking to the top when it gets there. When this section ends, it's going to unstick itself when this section comes up. And the next one's going to pop up there. And so forth as we go along. So let's delete these and we'll start from scratch. There's my first one. There's my second one. And there's my third one. Now, if you don't have your page split up into sections, it's really easy to create more sections and do it. All you do is hit the little blue button. Add a regular section. Just X out when it asks you to build a row. And you can start dragging some of your rows down into your new section by hitting the little cross here and simply pulling them down and releasing. I'm going to put them back how they were because I really didn't want to do that. But if you don't have sections, that's a great way of doing it quickly on the back end. Okay, let's just get this last one back up here. And I'll delete that section. Okay, well, let's pop back to desktop view again. And we'll go to the top of the page and decide where I want my first menu to come in. Here's my first section here. Don't want anything on that section. Let's perhaps put it somewhere in this section here. So I'm going to add a new row, a little green button to add a new row. I'm going to make mine a single column. Inside there, funnily enough, I'm going to use a menu module. Choose the menu that you want. Obviously, you need to create these menus. We covered that in our last video. I'll pop that one in. I'm going to go over to my design. I'm going to keep this very simple. Layout wise, I want to pop that in the middle. There it is, right there. Let's just roll it up so you can see it a little bit better. I'm going to make my row full width, give it a dark background. So I'm going to turn these white in color. They'll disappear on the white background there. That's okay. Menu text just down below. Then make the active link and also text link color white. As you can see, they disappeared, or as you can't see, they disappeared because they've disappeared. So let's save that now. We'll go into the actual row that we were in. Just so that we can identify this easier on the back end if we need to. Under content, I'm going to go down to admin label and I'm going to call this row sticky 1. In the background just above, I'm going to give it a dark background. I'm going to hit the little 3 dots to bring up the color palette. Make it almost black. There it is right there. White stripe in the middle. That's because we've got a white background by default on that menu. I'm going to take that away. But let's first make this row full width and also the height that we want it. To make the row full width, over to design, sizing. Here's the width. Drag that up to 100. Copy the 100%, Control C. Paste it, Control V in the max width just below, or you can type it in if you want. You've got a full width row right there. I don't want mine to be quite as wide as this, So I'm going to take a bit of the padding away. So close up size, and just underneath you'll find spacing, padding top and bottom. Mine, I'm just going to give it 5 picks. Just put in the 5, it'll put in the picks. Hit the little chain, it'll do the bottom for you. Okay, well, let's make it so we can see this menu. I'm going to pop into the menu. Dark tab for the module. And the content, background, there's the default white background. Just hover over it, hit the little trash can. There we go, we've got our little menu. And at the moment, this is just going to roll up the page like anything else. What I want to do is make it stick to the top there. Then when it gets to the end of this section, I want it to let go and another menu to pop in. So let's go back in there and do that. And it's really easy. I'm going to save my changes to my menu. I'm going to go back into the row, the green tab, over to the advanced. I'm going to roll down to scroll effects, sticky position. And you can have it stick to the top, which is what I want. You can have it stick to the bottom of the page if you want to. Or you can have it stick to the top and the bottom. When you roll up the page, it'll stick to the top. When you roll down, it'll stick to the bottom. I just want mine to stick to the top. Now when I roll up, it's going to stick just below the header there, which is exactly what I wanted. If you need to, you can give it an offset. That works perfectly for me, so I don't need to. Great. Well, let's just duplicate this. Rather than go through it all again, we can just copy and change the menu on each of these. So let's save this. I'm going to go back to my back-end mode again. Little wireframe icon down here. We'll roll on down. There's a sticky one. I'm going to duplicate it with the 2 little squares. I'm going to go into the next one. I'm going to call it sticky 2, so we know which one's which. I'm going to go into the menu and switch menus to the one that we want next. Now I'm going to drag it down to the next section. Little cross right there. Just simply going to drag it, roll down the page. Here's our next section. I'm going to pop it in the top of our next section. I'm going to do exactly the same thing for our third one. I'm going to duplicate number 2 here. I'm going to go in there. Admin label. Call this number 3, funnily enough. Obviously, you call yours what you want, just as long as you can identify it. We'll go in, switch out the menu that we want here. And again, I'm going to grab it by the little cross here, left click, drag it down. I'm going to drop it in at the top of our next section down below here. And you can continue and make as many as you want there. Now there's one more thing that we need to do to make this work properly. I'm going to go into my sticky 3 here. Back over to the advanced and scroll effects. And I want to set a bottom sticky limit. I only want it to stick until it reaches the bottom of the section that it's in. Remember the blue tab for the sections? Once it gets out of there, it'll stop sticking. I'll do the same for the other 2. Let's roll back up. Here's sticky 2. Scroll effects. Bottom sticky limit section. And let's roll up to our first one up the top here, sticky 1. But let's move this to the top of our section perhaps. And again, I'm going to go into the row, green tab, advanced, scroll effects, bottom sticky limit section. Great. Well, let's see if this is going to work for us. I'm going to save my changes. I'm going to save draft, publish if you're ready. And let's exit the Visual Builder. And here we are. Here's our little first menu just down the bottom there. If I roll up, it's going to stick under the header there. Rolling down. There's our second one. It's going to knock that one out of the way and stick to the bottom there. And the third one, it's going to do similar. Knock that one out of the way and stick to the bottom. If we roll back up the page, once it gets to the top of those sections, it's going to drop down. It's going to bring in the next one. And bring in the next one like that. So there you go, guys. There's how to create some cascading sticky menus for your little Divi site there. Really nice little feature to add, really easy to do. Things like that happen, it's going to get people's eyeballs on it pretty quickly, which is what you want with web design. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie with System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.